and coastal light, a pixelated neon morning. 2 decades and a half of fire, the canvas waits, the world is quiet. Beyond the trade and paper chase, we find the ink, the hidden lines.
Welcome guys to Poké Artiste Critique. My name is Drew. This is my first episode. Just doing an introductory episode of who I am, why I'm doing this, why you see a Pokemon card that's magnified so close up, so close to your face right now. Happy birthday Pikachu card, celebrating the 25th anniversary. But this was the first video I made for February 27th, which was the 30th anniversary of Pokemon's franchise. I am embarking on this because I've recently just gotten back into getting into Pokemon cards collecting. I did some very light collecting in the tail end of the 90s. I do remember in my childhood having a cousin who had collected some of the base set holos, including a Charizard, in which I have been calling him to find for a while. One phone call I managed to have with him, he wasn't able to find where that Pokemon card collection went, and he's been desperately trying to find it. He's asked his grandmother and grandfather where it was or where it might have disappeared to. Sadly, I fear that someone might have taken that from storage at the bottom of their home at one point or another, may have come across it and just swiped it. But it's those types of stories that kind of motivated me to start this podcast, because what we've been seeing right now within the last couple years of Pokemon card collecting is an incessant amount of scalping, which is all right. I'm not against the scalpers in any particular way. I don't hate them at all. I think everybody in humanity takes advantage of certain market forces and tries to make a good bucket of money from it. And at the end of the day, we can't knock anybody for their hustle. But one of the things that even the scalpers, whoever they may be, and a lot of people who may be card collecting on a more intense way to try and hold on to relics for the future, is that we're not appreciating the artwork. We're not sitting down and kind of analyzing the card. We're not kind of analyzing in more detail the artwork that's behind it, the storytelling that may be there, the cameos in Pokemon artwork that we're not really appreciating in depth, the simplicity or the complexity of what the theme of the overall art is trying to accomplish, and then also, not looking at a detailed close-up look of whether that card that you have in your possession was printed out correctly, whether the lines and the textures are flowing, whether some of the artwork bleeds out into the borders that we're not able to see with the naked eye. That's the kind of attempt that I'm trying to do here with this channel is, can we get down to the nitty-gritty in all of this artwork and start having fun and enjoying it from a different angle that no one else is doing? And I think we could. I think we could start appreciating that. And look at this. This is an incredible card that we're looking at now, which is the Happy Birthday Pikachu card, which was designed to have someone write their name on it. And I've always wondered, and if anybody in PSA, CGC, or any of the card grading companies who works for them, if the intent was for this card to be written on by anyone who's a card collector, and then the card pristinely stored away, will that knock a grade down just for writing on the card? And, whether that should be counted towards it or against it. I think those are good, these are good questions I don't think anybody maybe hasn't thought of or hasn't asked a PSA grader or CGC grader. I mean, look at this card. I'm using a light from a different angle to kind of show you the glow, the hollow glow here. And I've always been a fan of this printout. You see these puppies have some kind of a foil printout that almost seems like fingerprintish in a way, which I love, which I thought was awesome across this entire 25th anniversary line. Like, you're seeing that. It's almost fingerprintish in a way. And I like that. I think that's awesome. I think that's something that's beautiful. And from simplicity's sake, the overall theme is there for the card. There's not much else that needs to be improved on a Happy Birthday Pikachu card. There's no cameo that's needed from other Pokemon. The intent is there. It's to celebrate the 25th anniversary. It's on a table, a cake with strawberries and candles lit up with Pikachu happily about to blow those candles out. And then it's just a beautiful, simplistic card that ranks top up there for many people. And what I wanted to try and do was try and have a review score at the end of our conversations for cards like these, and any type of card that I have in my collection. That I'm going to start with my oldest cards that I have in collection, I think dating from the Sun and Moon range, and then kind of work my way towards the present if possible, little by little. This is going to be a long and slow podcast, and I hope that a lot of people are going to be with me for the long run. I hope eventually I'm going to be able to land some good marketing contacts and connections with folks and kind of enjoy this ride with you guys. And in my final review, I was kind of determining to kind of stick to a 1 out of 5 stars rating, not to attack the overall card, because even the most simplest basic cards we're going to be looking at here that are not fully hollow foil, that are just standard common cards, and we're going to try and appreciate the card and its artwork too from that standard, and try and say from a 1 to 5 scale whether the card was lacking 1 star, and whether it could have been improved in overall theme, cameos, and artwork, and or an excellent 5 where there's no need for improvement. There's no need for improvement for the artwork, because the artwork stands for itself in such a detailed, fantastic way. And how the hollow foil kind of plays into it, how the damage of the overall card plays into it, and whether I've, pristinely kept it. Everyone's cards are going to be different. We know that. Everyone's card collection is going to be loved and cared for in a different way. And we are not here to attack the overall artist or the artwork. In this podcast, I'm going to try and constantly focus on the fact on whether the intent and the spirit of the Pokemon card falls in line with the overall world building that Nintendo and Game Freak and the Pokemon TCGI company have been desperately trying to push for the last 30 years. I think it's worth going down a nice path. Just a little bit more about me. I'm 40 years old. I've got kiddos. I got one kid who's older. I've got some underage kiddos as well. I'm a dad who has tried to share my Pokemon love with my kids through the video games, share my love of Sony PlayStation console systems, and the entire love for the Sony suite of products with my kids. I've delved down the Nintendo side of products when I was preteen in the 96, 97 era with a Nintendo 64. I went through an entire hiatus of buying Nintendo Pokemon systems up till about 2016 when I bought my Nintendo Wii U, and delved into Zelda Breath of the Wild. It was my first Zelda game since A Link to the Past in the Super Nintendo era. A Link to the Past, I never was able to finish because I was a young 6-year-old kid who didn't quite understand RPGs. But I fondly remember trying to play the game. And then Breath of the Wild just takes me on a whole different adventure, a whole different opening of my mind as to the possibilities of enjoying the whole Zelda franchise as well. Then I delved down to the Mario Kart era, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And believe it or not, my last time I played with Mario Kart was on the original SNES, in which I mastered that game like an animal. And some light fairings of playing other people's 3DS and Nintendo Advanced systems of their versions of Mario Kart. And then as far as Pokemon in the video gaming world and my delving into it, I lightly delved into it in the late 90s on the Game Boys when they first popped out, indirectly with a cousin of mine and his and my aunt and uncle, who were constantly spoiling him with new video game systems to get him. And I got to enjoy some of that third hand. and I saw what the potential was for the RPG franchise of Pokemon, but I never got into it. Then in 2000, I bought myself a Nintendo Game Boy Color and bought myself Pokemon Gold. And that was my first real foray playing Generation 2, the expansion of an extra 100 Pokemon. And I absolutely fell in love with that game. Sadly, I went through a hiatus and didn't play any more Game Boy games related to Pokemon till, folks, you're not going to believe this, till 2021, when I got myself a Nintendo 2DS to play Pokemon Sun and Moon, not the Ultra versions. And I was blown away by how much the mechanics had changed in almost 20 something years. Then again, I may be doing an insult to some of you Pokemon players, in which you have played the black and white version, which I've been told by many people, Black and White and Black and White 2 are the absolute peak in those sprite-based RPGs of Pokemon that I have yet to touch. I'm currently now playing, after the hiatus with Sun and Moon, I bought a Nintendo Switch 2 and am playing lightly Pokemon Legends Z to A, which have blown me away too, because I've never played Arceus and I haven't played Scarlet and Violet. You know, I'm playing it at a point in a generation where they've kind of fixed up the odds and ends that I've read through the reviews, and I'm blown away by the mechanics, the live battle action mechanics, how the Pokemon move as you move, and that's been my foray into the Pokemon world. I have also profusely watched the animes over the entire past 25 years. Sorry, the entire 30 years I've watched the animes as they've kind of gone on. So that's something that I'm proud about. I'm an anime fan from that side of Pokemon. I will never die not loving Pokemon and the anime. And now my foray into my personal collection right now. As far as my personal card collecting experience, I began it when Surging Sparks came out. I said, I love the cards. I love what Surging Sparks is trying to do artwork wise. I fell in love with the chase card, the gold Pikachu card, which I understand is not the ultimate chase card. I think it's its alternate version, which is kind of has a whitish flare to the coloration. But I am trying to currently complete the entire Surging Sparks set. I'm probably about 10 or 15 cards away. I've spent thousands of dollars collecting between Surging Sparks, Shrouded Fable. Shrouded Fable is another one that I love that most people didn't like. It was a very small and card collection. But what I'm trying to do against Shrouded Fable, Surging Sparks, and Scarlet Crown. I think it might have been a Scarlet Crown or something like that. But what I'm trying to do is do a full-on collection of all three of those sets, in which I have their commons, their holo foils, their reverse holo foils, and all of their chase cards towards the end of their little booklet. I'm almost done with Surging Sparks. And what my ultimate goal is with Surging Sparks is it's pretty darn ballsy. But I won't say it for now. I'm going to hold my ultimate project with Surging Sparks till I can get to a point where I've saved up enough money for it. And I'll let you guys know in the future as we continue to attack these Pokemon card reviews that I am doing, these critiques. So folks, thank you for listening to me on my first channel, my first broadcast. Happy birthday to Pokemon. I'm hoping when we get to the anniversary of the Ash Ketchum arc, starting in the late 90s, I'm hoping that Pokemon TCGI, Nintendo, and Game Freak agree upon releasing a set focused on Ash Ketchum and all his adventures, and kind of drawing these new crazy scenarios that may have never been seen, that can expand on the in-between of the episodes of their travels, and what kind of small hijinks that Ash, Brock, and Misty may have come across. I'm hoping that the 30th anniversary, the true 30th anniversary for the premiere of the first episode here of anything related to Ash Ketchum turns out to be fantastic and awesome. So yeah, folks, join me into the future. Help me out. Subscribe. Show me love. Give me some brutal critiques on what I can improve or not can improve. Send it to me on private messages or send it to me on the messages. I hope everyone enjoys it little by little. And once again, don't take any of these reviews, these final reviews, into the future personal. I'm not attacking your favorite cards. No, I'm looking to try and do it in a very honest and kind of, could this card have been improved in a better fashion kind of way. So take it easy, folks, and enjoy. I love you.